project, a company, or any sort of business project revolving around creative industry. So that is what it is to be a creativepreneur. And I feel that one of our guest speaker actually, she didn't even know she was a creativepreneur until I invited her. But so we're gonna have two guest speakers tonight speaking for V-Rise. This is actually the first edition for V-Rise. Why did I call it V-Rise? I wanted to have a community for creative people, more specifically creativepreneurs, to come in, hang out, share ideas, and then also support each other on their ventures. And I feel like it's a it's like a very niche thing that I also want to get into in the future when everybody, gets that term. I believe that the community will grow stronger. So without further ado, since you guys are enjoying who's enjoying the cocktails? Nice, yes? All right, I hope you guys are feeling a little buzz because we have two amazing people that are going to speak, which are right here. So first of all, I want to say congrats to everybody here as well as for Thao. Come forward, Thao. Come forward. A round of applause for Thao, please. All right. So Thao, come here. David as well. David just joined us tonight. David Pham. Round of applause, guys, please. All right. Okay. So I want to start off by saying what is our theme tonight for the sharing session. It's going to be the theme is representing Vietnamese culture through modern storytelling, and I believe that both of them really have interesting things to say. Please come forward and sit. By the way, don't hide yourself over there. Tien, please come forward. Come and sit. Make yourself cozy. Amazing. Okay, perfect. All right. So I have a few questions for you guys, but first of all, please introduce yourself in a few words. Who you are, why you're here, and what's one thing that drives you? Let's start with you, Pat.
All right, a lot of you might know me. Thao, I was born and raised in Seattle, so I'm actually, born and raised in the US. I don't have any family here. I came here, no family. I didn't know a single person at all, but it's incredibly easy to make connections and community here. Like really, at the end of the day, you just gotta drink and karaoke and everyone wants to be buddy-buddy. So easy, and that's, I think, the appeal of being here in Vietnam is that sense of community for me. But why I came to Vietnam after, just not really having a connection here besides the fact of being Vietnamese blood is that, how I would describe it is that it's like a video game that you have already beat the main storyline, you've already done the side quest, you've already catch all the Pokemon and trained them to level 100. There's no more Pokemon to catch, and I feel like it's just time to play a different video game. So that's why I made a decision to uproot my life, move to Vietnam, and see how I can use my gift from God to help build this country up. So, I think a lot of time, one of the common questions going to these networking events is like, what do you do? And I think it's hard to explain what I do because I do a lot. Like I don't necessarily have a W-2 job. Yes, I'm a founder. I was in the beauty space, but I have here and there all my creative projects. Currently, I'm working on something. Shooting day is tomorrow, so I can't wait to show you guys the final result. So you guys gotta go to the next event. Stay tuned for that one.
Okay, great. Round of applause, please, for the introduction. All right, David. Yes, same to you.
What's up, guys? My name is David Pham. Actually, fun fact: I met Thao last year at my birthday party in Vietnam, and the first thing she told me was like, "Aren't you the guy who does like the Vietnamese thirst traps?" And I'm like, yeah, and like but I moved away from that kind of content just because it wasn't like that fulfilling. You guys know how it is. It's just like random attention, and in the beginning, when you don't know what kind of content you want to post, I just posted a bunch of like random ass stuff. Now it's way more, I would say, focused on teaching Vietnamese or foreigners, Northern Vietnamese, the language, just to build like deeper connections. And yeah, super excited to be here. I recently graduated my law degree in Germany. I'm not like based here yet, But next year I want to move here actually and see like how it is to actually live here. Just because I think like life in Saigon is so much more fulfilling than in the Western country. Western country is like super boring. German people. Are there any Germans here?
Yes.
Okay, you're too excited.
He
Bro. You're
agrees.
too excited. Anyways, like Germany, I would say like nice country, but like the people are very cold. Like completely different than here, right? So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you, bro, for the invitation.
Okay, amazing. Round of applause for these two. I'm gonna keep telling you guys to applaud because these two deserve it. All right, so first question is for Thao. What is the story behind you opening a hair salon, and what does it mean to own a business as a Vietnamese abroad or overseas?
Okay, so if I'm going to be frank with you, I was at a point where I wanted to start a business. I do so many things, I don't know which business to start, and I also have like my family business too. And I thought I wanted to open up a cafe. So what I did was I work at a cafe, and I realized very quickly I don't like waking up early. And then, you know, I went to go take accounting and tax classes just because I thought I could take over my family's business. And oh my gosh, it was incredibly boring too. And I was already doing hair for a few years, so kind of went opportunity, and it just makes sense. And because I would say, you know, like hairstylist is my title, is my persona, but really it's not the like artistic and the technical aspect of it that fulfills me. It's more of connecting with people and the business aspect that I really enjoy.
Okay, amazing. And what did you think of the fact that you had to open it abroad, overseas, and it's not in your home country? How does it feel to be a Vietnamese owner? Let's say you open it in America, correct?
Yes.
Does it feel any different?
Well, I am a U.S. citizen, so
Okay.
it wasn't as hard as an immigrant without a U.S. passport, obviously, but it was still hard because I do think being a minority, everything is, you know, we've heard of the bamboo ceiling before. I have to do, everything for me is 10 times the amount of work. Like most people like me that are Vietnamese American, Asian American, if they know how to speak English, they would work in a nice like American salon. It's a lot easier. They have less hair, they're less picky, they're not going to negotiate price. They wouldn't do what I do to cater to an Asian audience. But I do it because I like serving my community, and I just like that style. I like that, you know, very, very, you know, Rizzy, Opa hairstyle. So, and I like serving my community and
Nice.
uplifting my community. So that's why I have to, yes.
Okay, amazing. Great answer. To David, I want to ask you, so just to tell everybody, what is your main purpose of flying to Vietnam? Because of course you're based in Germany, right? But you did tell me and you did share to everybody that you want to be based here in the future. And if people here don't know, David actually just finished filming a Vietnamese show, right? A travel show.
Yeah.
So were there any interesting new learnings that brought you perhaps new perspective on our Vietnamese culture while doing the show?
Good question. I think the main reason why I came here is because of this event. I was like looking forward to this so much. No, to be honest, yeah, I was invited by VTV. Are you guys aware of the Vietnamese national channel? Yeah. So my parents always watched that when I was like a kid in Germany. So I thought, yo, that would be such a great way to incorporate and strengthen my brand. I think we're gonna talk about that later as well, right?
Yeah.
How you can build a strong brand, and also just to you know, share the Vietnamese culture. So I think that was a great way to start, and also because I want to experience living here long term. So I'm going to be here for like 2 months now, and just trying to make as much content as possible. Also, like you know, that's advertising basically for my business. I have like this online language school that I promote, and where I teach Vietnamese, as I mentioned. So yeah, a win-win situation, I would say, for me to come back.
Amazing. What would you say then is like the number one thing, maybe super new, that you learned through the V2D travel trip that you just had?
I think it's just like all of you guys who have Vietnamese roots, just like slowly connecting back to our roots. Because growing up in Germany, I felt like an outsider my entire life, surrounded by white people. I think we were like 2-3 Asian kids in my school, including my 2 siblings. So basically, we're the only fucking Asians in our community. And now, like coming back, I feel way more proud, basically, of being Vietnamese. I want to share that mission with everyone who grows up abroad. And whenever you get like beautiful messages like, yo, your videos really inspire me, your videos really give me motivation to reconnect to my roots. Similar to Thao, that's why I loved connecting with Thao, just because we have like the same kind of vision, I would say, for empowering our Asian community. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll ask Thao the next question. So Thao, I want to share to everybody here as well that you have a pretty big film project coming soon. It's actually filming tomorrow, and actually David and I are part of it, featured in it.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about the goal, why you trying to make this film project, and why is this project so important to you?
Yes. Nah. So, I mean, I've always told myself once I've made it, I'm gonna, to the best of my ability, give back as much as possible. I'm very into, how do you pronounce the word, philanthropy and whatnot, but I think it doesn't always have to come in the form of actually formally going to a homeless shelter and feeding the homeless, or, I do volunteer works and whatnot too. It could be, like there's certain problems that like a formal nonprofit has not started yet. So for me, I like taking problems, and that's the entrepreneur in me too, right? Taking problems and how to tackle to it. And I'm just fortunate I'm in a position where, certain things I don't need to have revenue out of it. I can fully fund it to fulfill my mission. And, hair and beauty, I'm very passionate about it, but also it's like a tool, a vehicle I use. I would say it's a gift from God to use that to fulfill my mission. My mission is to elevate Asian culture in the West, and especially Asian men, because all my clients were Asian men, and on top of hearing them talk about their hair struggle, hearing them talk about their identity, it's a struggle for them to date in the West. I hear it all, right? I'm like a therapy. So I really want to do something to help resolve that. And this short film that I'm investing in, funding in, I wanted to hit two core mission. One, for the Western audience to promote and Asian men have more of a positive representation of Asian men, because I think most Asian men in Western media, they're always portrayed as like a little less desirable, if that's correct to say. So I want to change that narrative. And also I want to bring Vietnam to a positive light and make it seem attractive for the Vietnamese diaspora to come here and contribute whatever they learn from the Western world and help build our country, because we see a very self-select career group. Like, I think us here, we think there's a lot of Viet Americans, but the reality is that the number's not that high. Most Viet Americans come from the wave that fled from the war. Most of them only heard negative things their whole entire life from their parents, and they're just, you only hear negative things. You're not using your 2-week PTO to step into a country you've only heard negative things about, and then you don't know about Vietnam. And just make it attractive, get them here, then take them out, and then they'll have a good time. And once I think you can make people feel connected, they will want to contribute.
Okay, lovely answer. Move on to David now. So David, you told me, you shared to everybody that you started out your content journey with Vietnamese thirst traps. But okay, when was maybe a specific moment in your content creation career that you realized that I'm more than just thirst traps. I'm like my Vietnamese side of it can actually grow and become an asset for my content creation journey. So when was that time?
That's a good question. Actually, I started 2 years ago with content creation when I lived in South Korea. And back then, I tried to embrace this like trend of Korea and just pretend that I'm like Korean all the time, and just like the upper thing that you mentioned. But then I realized that it's not very authentic to myself, as well as to a lot of people. They could smell that it's not authentic because I'm not Korean. So eventually I shifted, as I said, into these like thirst traps thing, because it went viral basically. And if you look at Instagram, the metrics that you look at obviously is like your follow number. Is the follow number rising? Do you get millions of views, stuff like that? Yeah. But once you try to make money and like actually shift that to a business side, the metrics that you choose are not like actually how you go viral anymore, but how many of those followers can you convert into potential clients, right? So that's when I realized that I have to be very selective of what kind of content I post, because if you just post random stuff, then you'll also attract just random people who are not like potential customers for you, right? So it really depends on like, to go back to your question, basically, when was like the time that I decided to use my culture, basically. I think it was like when I bought my first course from a mentor myself. Literally spent like $5,000 on a business mentor, basically.
Wow.
And the reason why I did it, and I kind of reverse engineered why I did it, was because he was very much like me. He was like Asian, he had like the same values as me, and that's when I realized, okay, shit, maybe I should lean into my Vietnamese side, because there's so many Viet girls, right? All of you guys here are foreigners who would love to learn Vietnamese, and why don't I embrace the side of me instead of like pretending to be a Korean, basically, which I'm not, right? So that's when it really shifted, and that's when my content finally felt aligned, and where I felt like, oh shit, like this is actually a mission that I can do long term. I don't do this for like the views. I do that because I have a mission. It's fulfilling. It's kind of like the ikigai thing, if you guys are aware of that Japanese concept, right? That's when I discovered that, and I think that was like the big breakthrough. Probably like 6 months ago, 6-7 months ago, when I made that huge shift, and since then it's just like been popping off.
Great. I have a small follow-up question to that. So you talked a lot about how, creating content does help you generate more leads. For now, you're teaching business, right?
Yeah.
What's been one of the most challenging aspects of that? Trying to create content as well, but have it correlate and translate into leads for your teaching business.
Okay. I think that you have to let go of your ego, basically, because when you create more niche down content, especially like one that is tailored to your ICP, your ideal viewer client, your views will basically drop, and you will get less followers as well. And on something like Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform you choose, that might be something that hurts your ego, because you think, oh shit, lower views means I'm not performing as well. But what I realized is lower views actually meant I had more quality leads for my business. A lot of people that came through the door were actually people that were aligned with the mission, and so it's just like random people who followed me because, I don't know, because of my thirst traps or whatever.
Yeah, great answer. All right, Thao, I'm coming back to you now. All right, so this is actually same question for you both. If you were starting today, right, from zero, so for you, 0 followers, Thao maybe 0 budget, you have nothing in your bank account, right? What is the first thing you would post online, especially in this modern era of storytelling?
So I think that's a very, very good question, because I think you're really never starting from nothing. Like today, if everything tangible was taken away from me, people cannot still take away my experience and the knowledge I have in my head and my character. I think that is enough is, like being resourceful, right? Like everything, all these connections has accumulated throughout this time. Like that's the thing. Like I feel like you always need to give. You need to give more than you take, because when it will come a time where you do need help. And if you're someone that has always been giving to people, like for example, I know today, like anything can be taken away from me, people are gonna still offer their couch for me to sleep on. I won't be homeless. Like they're gonna think about all the time I've cooked for them too. So I think in that way, like I still have, that's the safe thing that I've unconsciously created for myself. But I think it's the Vietnamese in us. Like that's the thing. Like and that's what I'm so proud of being Vietnamese. We're so resilient. We're so like on fire. We're like we're fearless. We just there's pros and cons to that, because sometimes you don't think, you just go, right? Yeah. And whatnot. But that's Vietnamese culture for you right there, and that's why that is part of my identity. And I think that's why culture is so important. It like when there's nothing left, you're just sitting in a dark room in a mirror, at least you have your core values still there with you.
Okay, great, thank you, Thao. So same question for David. So if you had like 0 followers now, would you do the same thing again, or go a different path and maybe tailor this question to perhaps like new upcoming creators right here in this room?
That's a good question. I think I want to make it like tactical for you guys, because I'm someone who's like very tactical. I think the question is kind of framed in a wrong way. I think you should ask yourself like, what is your ultimate goal with content?
Thank you for yes.
So basically, you have to ask yourself, because like there's basically 3 routes you could go, right? You could go down the route of being an entertainment creator, which is basically like the Mr. Beast, I Show Speed, stuff like that, which is not the route I'm going for, right? That's how I started, like entertainment, if you can call Thurships entertainment. The second route you could go for is education. Like, do you want to educate certain people in a specific topic? This is where I'm at right now, right? I teach foreigners or Vietnamese to build deeper connections. So all my content is revolved around that. And the difference between entertainment and education is entertainment is solely, your sole goal is that people watch your video till the end. So you have to max out your retention, your hooks, your B-roll, all those things to keep the ADHD kids basically like ready to watch your shit, right? On the other hand, education is more like, yeah, I wanna teach them something, and at the end of my video, they should change their behavior. If that makes sense. And then the last thing that you could do is like a mixture between the two. So you have education and entertainment both in one, which I don't know, Alex Ramosi, for example, he sometimes does that as well, but now he kind of falls into that bracket of education way more. So once you decide which route you want to go, then you can decide like what kind of content you want to make. If you want to go for entertainment, then obviously your metrics is going to be how can it go viral, right? Maxing that out. If you're going to go the education content, you have to provide value in an easy way for people to understand. And then you have to drop your ego, as I mentioned. You don't care about the follower metrics or whatsoever. I literally know people who have like 1,000 followers, they make 10 grand like a month, right? In comparison to like people who have like maybe 1 million followers, but they don't know how to monetize. They're kind of dependent on brand deals whatsoever, and they make maybe 5K a month, which is still good for a lot of people. But like considering the fact they have like millions of followers, that's not a lot, right? Second thing I would say, like if you don't know what content you should post, I would think about like who you want to post content for, right? And the best way that you can do is to post content for your past self. So like think about yourself, maybe 1 year ago, 5 years ago, what kind of struggles did you had? Because the version of you right now overcame those struggles, so you can solve specifically the content for that version of yourself, right? That past version of yourself. Let's say I'm like overweight, I used to be overweight or something, and now I'm shredded, I have a six-pack, then obviously you have the knowledge right now, you know exactly the struggles of your past self, and then you can post content tailored to that, right? So I think that's very strategical. And then lastly, I would say just stay consistent, because it literally took me like 7 months until I had my first viral reel. It's kind of like baseball. When you play like baseball, you're trying to hit like a home run, right? And in the beginning, you kind of suck. You never miss the ball. You never miss the ball. You never miss the ball. And then suddenly, one day, you kind of hit the ball and then hit a home run. That's kind of the same thing with going viral. You post a bunch of videos. You really suck in the beginning. You don't know how to go viral. You don't know how to talk to the camera. You kind of cringe. But eventually, like one video will pop off, and that video will will be the home run for you. That video will go kind of viral, and that's when you realize that it's possible for you. And if you don't hit the ball enough, you will never know what's possible basically on the other side. Like if I would have stopped after, let's say 3 months, and wouldn't have continued posting, I would have never been like right now here with over 100K followers, right? Because if I would have quit way earlier than the 6 months, I wouldn't have known what's possible. Yeah.
Amazing. Can I have a big round of applause for the 2 speakers here? All right. Now I am going to do a short Q&A question for the audience here. If anybody has any sort of questions to ask for Thao or David, please raise your hand. This is your time to do so everybody can learn off of each other as well. Anybody? This is, yeah, please.
David, you said that some...
I'll give you the microphone.
Sorry. David, you said some content creators have 1,000 subscribers and they're able to make 10,000 a month. So how would they do that?
Yeah. That's a great question. So if you have 1,000 followers and they're true loyal fans of you and you're very niche down, and let's say you sell a product for 2K, you just need like, let's say 2.5K, you just need like 4 clients and you have 10K per month. Does that make sense? So like out of the 1,000 followers, that are true loyal fans, you just need to close 4 people per month to make 10 grand. I think if that makes, if you put that into perspective, that makes sense. So yeah, most of these people that I know who have like 1,000 to 5,000 followers and that make that type of money, they just have like a high ticket product and like probably like an info space. They just sell that and need way less leads to close them. But because they're so niche down, maybe they're in a unique position. That's how they can, make that much money.
Amazing. Okay, I think I saw a hand up there. I'll come back to you, but all right, Vinny, go.
Hi David. How would you balance content creation with like your client work?
You mean like delivery, or what do you mean by
like,
client work?
Do you get like overwhelmed doing so much content and then looking after your clients as well? Like, how would you balance doing both?
Okay, so I don't know like exactly what you're selling or how your delivery process looks like, but for me it's literally I do my delivery basically on the weekends and then I batch my content. Does that make sense? So like batching, for everyone who doesn't know, is like you take one day out of your week and you literally script like 5 to 6 videos and then you film all those videos out, and that way like one day is dedicated and then that way you have like 6 videos for the entire week. And I think like if you structure it that way, it might be easier for you. I know other creators who just like do, it also depends on what kind of content you post, long form or short form. If you do long form and you have the budget, I would definitely suggest you to get like an editor. That's what I did back then. You can find like good editors on like Fiverr or whatever. Most of them are gonna be like from India or whatever, but it's pretty affordable, I would say, in the beginning. If you do short form, I literally still edit to this day my own stuff just because I enjoy doing it myself. But even that you could outsource eventually, right? Like if you're running out of time to do your content, I would still outsource it just because it's like your main mechanism to get new leads. And yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah. Cool.
All right. Anybody has other questions? Yeah, Ben. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for being here. It's amazing that you're here, and thank you for sharing all this knowledge. One of my questions is then, one of the hardest thing I feel like for people who are considering content creation is to start. And I feel like, for example, for me, I'm still considering it as well. Like, one of the hardest emotions to go through is like not feeling cringe, especially when you start. You don't expect to go viral right away. You're probably gonna do a few videos that are probably gonna be bad because they're the first videos. You're gonna feel cringe about yourself. Not many people are gonna watch it. How do you go past that feeling?
Do you want to answer that?
Okay. Yeah, Thao, go ahead.
Yeah, but the important thing is to just start, and going back to the whole, like not caring about the followers number, because, like when I had my hair salon, I don't, like, I mean, I'm a little bit on the older side, so I started Instagram a little bit later, right? I don't have that much follower, and I'm busy with clients. I don't have time to, film and take photos and whatnot, and we did, like, really good. And then I think because of that, when I look for people to work with too, I mean, it's kind of the reverse for me. A lot of people look for people with very high following. I look for the opposite. All right, if they don't have that much, that means they're actually good at the shit they're doing, and they don't need to market. And so depending on your audience, depending on what kind of business line you want to be in, it just depends. Like, because sometimes like David saying, his thirst trap went viral, but it actually doesn't convert to anything. So depending on what your goal is, do you want to be famous? Do you actually want to make money? Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. But also, what helped me a lot in the beginning, like literally just to give you like an understanding, I think when I first posted my first videos, the only people who watched my videos and commented were my mom and my brother. And then there was like some random hater from my high school who I don't give a fuck anymore about, but like that was kind of funny. But I think like what you have to ask yourself is like what is the voice inside of you? Like who are the people that you're so afraid of posting? Because you'll realize like now that I've been in this space and I've talked to like some of the craziest creators like that I don't know, like you guys probably know a lot of them, Mino Lee for example, or very big creators in the United States. You will never see like someone who's ahead of you, who's succeeding, like make fun of you. Like, if you think about it, most of the time it's like people who are in a worse position than you, or who kind of feel that their ego is being shattered because you are progressing as a human being, whereas they are still standing behind. And I mean, like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, they say like you're cringe, okay, and then what? Like, is that gonna make you stop, basically? Because like, if that's gonna make you stop, then maybe it's not meant for you. Like, if a little criticism from some random people is like gonna stop you, then you're not meant to be. But like, I think you just have to push, because you have to ask yourself, like, what if it actually succeeds? Because then those haters will turn into like fans. Like this high school hater that was like talking about, he asked me for advice like 1 year after, and obviously I told him to fuck off, because like, what the fuck. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
So my background, I'm actually also from Germany, and I studied food science. And in Germany, we are like really precise with like knowledge and publishing things. And what I see on social media is a lot of information which is actually not really precise and therefore wrong. And my question is, would you still publish something, especially when it comes to like Vietnamese culture and maybe feeling this stereotype, knowing that it's going to be viral for the growth or not? Because you also said you did like the entertainment stuff and doing things you felt are not authentic, but now with the knowledge, knowing that you know that it doesn't feel good, would you still invest kind of in that, like knowing, okay, I'm doing now this first steps and it's gonna be not authentic, but I need this for my growth, or not, and why?
Can you give me an example? Like right now, you're asking me right now if I would still post thirst traps because I want to have the growth? Is that your question?
Yeah, or like any kind of thing where you know this will go viral, but maybe it's not actually the truth. Like for example, a lot of things that I see online, it's this study found out about this, but it's, you know, when it comes to studies, it's mostly just like they want to run like a small experiment, and then they make it market like really well for some kind of company. Because I'm coming from the food science background, but now I switched to marketing, so I see a lot that we have to like make the content, as you said, easy to digest for ADHD people, but actually then it's not the truth, the full truth. So a lot of content is missing. So would you still post something which was going viral, and but it's not, you know, the full truth?
I mean, I can only speak for myself, but as I mentioned, my metrics is not virality anymore. Like, I'm not posting to go viral anymore, because that number doesn't bring you anything in terms of how much money you make down the road. For me, the only metrics is how much basically cash can I make in an ethical way. Like obviously, we don't want to do anything illegal, obviously, but I don't care about virality anymore. Probably there are creators out there that do that, and still from time to time I obviously mix in formats. I don't know how familiar you are with the lead and the funnels, but like basically sometimes you still have to post viral content just to get like new eyeballs in, like new people in the top of funnel, and then you kind of go them, like bring them through your funnel. But to answer your question short, no, I wouldn't do that anymore, just because of you know, like going viral. I think though, like that's a chance for you to stay authentic in this field. Like we can see the shift right now. A lot of people are chasing those viral numbers that you're talking about, and they put out some random stuff, sometimes like fake news, as you mentioned. But that's like your chance to like stand out and actually be authentic and be a source that people come back to when they need like actual advice. Does that make sense?
Would you still do it when you're like having nothing, like zero followers?
Oh, okay.
It is actually right now. I feel like easy when you're gaining growth to say, oh, now I'm flexible because I have like the numbers, the followers, so they trust you already, or they've lived with you for many years. So now they are able to like consume the long-term content maybe, or like more the deeper things. But would you still do it in the beginning, knowing it's not going to be super entertaining?
I mean, let me ask you this: what was your goal with that then? Like, let's say you put out a piece of content, and then it turns out later, okay, it goes viral, good for you. But then it turns out later it was trash, and you just talk bullshit. Do you think that's good for your brand?
Yeah, but I also think it's sometimes hard for like a lot of people that putting a lot of effort and like so many like good videos, but it doesn't get like shown because of the algorithm, right? So much like oftentimes. So what would you recommend for those people?
Yeah. Okay. First, to answer your first question, because I think it's so important. You guys all know Warren Buffett, right? Yeah. Warren Buffett like literally says it takes like 20 years to build a good reputation, but only 5 minutes to destroy your reputation. Like if you think about it in terms of that, you're very, very intentional about what you post. Like, I would rather take my time. Maybe it takes 1 year, maybe even takes 2 years to build like a solid foundation of even 1,000 true loyal fans, than to just try my best to go viral and then suddenly it turns out you're a trash talker. You just like post fake news or stuff like that. To answer your second question, as a beginner, you always think that you put in so much effort, your videos are so good, but like let me tell you this, your videos are probably trash. Like if they don't go viral, it just means they're trash. No, that's like a lesson I had to learn as well. That's why I told you guys like I think you guys should post every single day and think of it in terms of long term. Like I was thinking when I first thought about doing this seriously, I didn't think about like, oh, how can I go viral in like 4 weeks? I was thinking like literally, if this takes me 2 years, it's gonna take me 2 years. That's what I thought. And it took me 7 months to hit my first viral video. But in that process, it felt good in the process. Like I didn't have like a panel talk like this. Like I was literally just like experimenting. That's why I started off with like thirst traps and stuff like that. If I have the knowledge right now, I wouldn't have started with that because I could have built a way more solid brand from the beginning. But that's just like how I did it through trial and error. I would say for you, just to give you something tactical, I would look for like I don't know, what's your niche again? What's your niche? Vietnamese lifestyle. Okay. I would like look for formats that are already killing it because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You guys already know that. But a lot of people don't understand what that actually means. You're like looking for videos that work, and then you don't like steal them. You look at why they work. Like if you doom scroll through your freaking For You page, and you see a video and you suddenly stop, you ask yourself, why did I stop and watch this video? Was it because of the hook? Was it because of the visual picture? And then you ask yourself, how can I reverse engineer that and do that in my content, okay? Just to give you like an example, there's different formats, right? A very common format is the street interview format, where it's just like literally go on the street, ask strangers about, I don't know, here in Vietnam, very popular is like, how much rent do you need to live comfortably in Vietnam, something like that, right? If I would be a complete beginner, I could just like rip that and I could like go on the street. I would ask the exact same question because that would be like just like plagiarizing it. But I could ask another question in that regard, like, I don't know, yeah, what made you come to Vietnam or stuff like that. And over time, if you rip those formats, you'll get better and better and better. And then one video, I promise, will go viral. And then you just analyze why the video go viral, and then you break it down again and again and again. It's all about like data collection in my mind. Yeah.
Okay, we have one more. I love the fact that there's so many questions tonight.
Hi, I have 2 questions. My first question is, did you start with a plan when you both start content creating, or did you just go with the flow and see how it turns out? And my second question is, I want to do like educational content, and I don't know if I just should post or if I should just cut videos, keep them, and see how I can adjust them or do it better, because I just want to start with a plan. I don't just want to throw videos out. I want my videos to have like a system. And yeah, how do you think about that?
Okay, so I personally didn't start off with a plan, because I didn't have access to something like this. But now, like, if I think about it, I think you can have like a certain plan that you want to go for, but your content can shift down the road. Like, you don't have to like nail this and like be for the next 10 years you post the same content. Like, my content literally shifted a lot of times. But on the other hand, if you plan all the time and you don't post anything at all, then nothing will change. It's like you have to get the reps in. It's just like going to the gym. You have to hit that bicep curl basically to get a bigger bicep. And I would say, like, just to give you again something tactical that you can do right now, I would do like I would go home. I would ask myself, who is my ICP? Like, who want to create content for? What are they struggling with? Be as precise as you can with that. And then from there on, you can reverse engineer, like what kind of problems do they have, what kind of content would help them out. And as I said, as a guide of reference, if you have no idea, you could just create content for your younger self, right? That's what some of the biggest content creators taught me, basically, in America. And then once you have that like clear picture of who you want to create content for, then everything becomes a lot easier, and then it's just about getting reps in. That's what I mentioned to her, to my fellow German Vicky. Oh, you're also from Germany, bro. that's fine. Basically, yeah, and then you just get better at your videos, because in the end, in the beginning, your videos honestly will suck. Like, you probably don't know how to talk to the camera. You don't know how to cut and edit the video the way that people want to watch it. It's so saturated right now. You have to find like your unique selling point in some regards. But over time, like let's say if you have 100 videos posted, that's what I assume that you get a lot better. Yeah, you don't just like post videos for the sake of posting videos, but you post videos keeping in mind that every single video you improve in some area, like whether it's the color grading, whether it's a hook, whether it's editing, something like that. And your 100th video will be a lot different from your first video if you do that. Yeah, hope that answers your question. Do you have anything to add? Thao, anything to add?
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, it's like a game of baseball. You keep throwing it until you hit the home run. But if you don't throw any, like how would you hit that home run? And that's exactly, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually started building a page 6 years ago. It's been 6 damn years, and it's very educational video educating Asian men how to style their hair. So, if it's not thirst trap, that's not gonna go viral quickly. But the thing is, I stuck to my value. And I mean, I guess it took 6 years to finally, last week, I don't know what the hell happened. Like finally one post, like, after I got home from the weekend or something, like, it's like, holy shit, where did all these followers came from? So it's just, I didn't believe it when people were like, you gotta keep trying until that one, it's like, I can't believe it happened to me. So, yeah, I believe it now.
Okay. Okay. Last question before we move on, because we have a schedule to follow. So last question.
Thank you to Thao and David for your amazing presentation. Before you guys came here, I did do like a friendly stalk on your profile. So I just want to ask, can you please share with all the audience here your journey from 0 followers to 1,000 followers, and then from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers, and then to get to where you are now, which is 7K followers. What prices have you paid to get where you are now? Did you ever doubt yourself? Did you have any pain? And I know that before becoming a content creator like this, your life was really different because you did no content on the internet, right? So now, how is a day in life like for a content creator, so that we can all visualize the life that we are heading towards? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I actually started off with 1,000 followers, just because I had like a bunch of random friends from there. But the question still remains. I think the hardest part is from 1,000 to 10K, because like once you get from 1,000 to 10K, you know it's possible, and you know that you just have to do more volume basically to get to your end goal. Honestly, like when I started with 1,000 followers, obviously I was very insecure, as I mentioned. The only people watching my videos was my mom and my brother, right? And then some random hater from high school.
And me, by the way.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, man.
Oh shit.
You know why I stopped? You're too hot. You're too hot. That's why. Visual hook. Visual hook.
But I think in my mind, I was just like, I don't care what these people, like, to come back to what he also asked before, right? Because at the end of my life, like, these people are not gonna be there anymore. Like, even if they judge me now, when they're dead, when I'm dead, I don't care about their thought, like their opinions. Why should I care right now about their opinions about me? Like, they don't affect my life at all. And I think going through that is probably the hardest. Like 1,000 to 10K followers, the hardest part is literally your inner battles. Like that's literally the biggest battle, because like every day you think that you suck, your videos don't perform well, you put in so much effort. To go back to what she said, you put in maybe 3 hours and you think it's a good product, but you can't see the bigger picture just because you don't have the skills yet. Like right now, if I would look at her videos, I could probably give her like a bunch of like things that she could improve on, but just because she doesn't have the reps right now, she doesn't know like what she can improve on yet. right? So I think once you hit that 10K, that's a very cool feeling. I actually thought like everyone who has like 10K is freaking rich. But like once I got into that, like once I hit my 10K, I was like still broke. I was like, what the fuck? I have like one brand deal, I get like $200. That's like amazing. But it's how you kind of frame it, I would say. Because you could see the $200 as like, whoa, this is so little money. But I saw it as like, holy shit, I just made my first money online, right? 200 euros. Like normally I would have to work like a lot of days in my part-time job, in my shitty part-time job. And yeah, I think what you should be focusing on is not the output, but the input, right? How many videos per day do you post? I already gave you guys like a metric. I would say like every day. I would just post every day. I was literally posting every day for 7 months or 6 months until I hit my first viral video, right? And before that, I doubted myself a lot, but as I said, I just continued because I knew once I hit my home run, there's no going back. Once I hit my home run, I know it's possible, and then I can just continue to do that. And then honestly, from 10K to 70K, it was just like improving, and volume. That's it. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
All right. Okay. Thao, do you want to add something to that before I end this session?
Okay, so I do like that term that you came up for me, creatorpreneur, because you don't necessarily need to be a content creator to be considered. Yeah.
Just put your microphone slightly closer.
Yeah, because I mean, now in Vietnam, a lot of people here don't know, which actually I like that. I like being, well, I think I only was able to successfully stay anonymous for like 2 weeks until now, like I'm everywhere. But before home, you know, like there's other avenue to be a content creator. I didn't want to be on TikTok. I didn't want to be on Instagram. Like it was really nerdy. I was on Yelp, you know, like writing food reviews. Like actually, it's a lot of people don't think to go there, so it's actually not as saturated. And even though I didn't necessarily monetize off being a content creator on Yelp, I was able to get a lot of traffic in my salon because, you know, now on top of knowing how to cut hair, knowing how to, you know, work with Asian people, like that's an added value people, you know, and it's like this nerdy way to like, oh, they weren't even searching for a hairstylist, they were searching where to get hot pot, and then they found my stuff, and then, oh, they somehow found out I did hair, and they now want to work with me because they need a haircut anyway. So just like little quirky things like that can benefit you too. You don't necessarily have to be a TikToker, YouTuber. You can use content to benefit other businesses too, and not fully rely on like sponsorships.
Okay. Yes. Amazing. Okay. Well, a round of applause again. I love that we have so many questions tonight. Thank you guys so much. You guys can enjoy the event now, as of course guest speakers, but you guys can come up and hit up David and Thao. They're going to be staying here. I think David is going to leave soon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so David's going to leave soon, so if you don't want him to slip away from your contacts, you can just swarm David right now. Thao is going to be here, I guess, for the whole night until she gets too drunk, right?